Good evening, everyone. On this week's episode of Whether or Not, I'm your host, Jordyn Jenna.
And I'm your forecaster, Hannah Evans.
We have a couple exciting things coming up, but first I want to hear a little bit about the weather for this weekend.
So we did see those temperatures drop a little bit on Thursday. This is leading up to some evening snow showers on Friday, leading into a winter storm on Saturday.
Okay, and we also have some nature in the news stories, one about the ocean warming and then another about the Australia fires.
And we also have a feature by Jordyn that is on how weather affects photography.
But first, nature in the news. Do you ever feel like it may have rained more than usual this past year? Well, this may come of no surprise, but Climate Central recently released information stating that 2019 was the nation's second wettest year on record. In northern portions of the Midwest, some states experienced record-breaking wetness. For much of the Northeast and the Mid-South, the amount of precipitation over the year was well above average. Washington was the only state in the United States that had below average precipitation. Along with higher precipitation rates for this past year, the nation also broke heat records in many areas, including states along the entire East Coast. 2019 also ended a decade with the past 10 years being above average in temperature. Although climate change has a mixed effect on yearly precipitation, higher amounts of rainfall can be driven from it. Heavy rain continues to intensify as rising temperatures make more effort in evaporating water in the atmosphere. Keep in mind, State College, PA, as well as the rest of the United States, are not the only places experiencing changes from a warming climate. Having more rain may seem like a minor issue for some of us, but for people across the world, our changing climate brings rise to even more hazardous weather.
This past weekend, severe storms lasting 2 days in Texas and Oklahoma killed 8 people along the way. These severe storms included damaging winds, tornadoes, and flooding rain. This caused trees to knock into homes, flatten roofs, and demolish homes. The damaging winds even knocked over power lines and completely wiped out trees. Most of the population losing power during the storm, and some did not regain power until Sunday. The governors of the surrounding states of Mississippi and Arkansas declared states of emergency for the cleanup of these severe storms. People now have to rebuild their homes and essentially start over. Our hearts and prayers go out to the people affected by these storms.
As of right now in Australia, the fire season continues. Australia has burned the equivalent amount of acreage roughly equaling the size of West Virginia. To date, this fire season has experienced 15 million acres burned, whereas in the past 2 years, the amount of acreage was way below that. In 2018, only 1.69 million acres had burned, an even lower amount in 2017 with 260,000 acres experienced burning during the Australia fire season. There are currently more than 100 active fires happening at this time. Now again, our climate is changing. Does this have an impact on fire seasons? Yes. As the years progress, not only are there more fires during a fire season, but the fire season is also extending in time in large parts of Australia. As I stated earlier, the United States is not the only place experiencing above average temperatures. 2019, Australia broke its record of being the hottest it has ever been in over 100 years. Not only were temperatures above average, but it was also incredibly dry during the summer, which led to Australia to have its driest year on record.
A new study that came out this past Sunday states that the year of 2019 was another record-setting ocean warming year, with temperatures being the highest they have ever been. An international team has been looking into the ocean temperatures on average all the way back to the 1950s. It showed that the ocean surface temperatures to 2,000 meters deep have been warming at increasing speed. These past 5 years have been the hottest 5 ocean temperature years. Since this ocean warming is so critical and happening so fast, the scientists have concluded it is due to man-made climate change. The only way to stop this rapid increase in ocean temperatures is if we reduce emissions. Hi everyone, it is Hannah here with your Central PA forecast. So we did have a little break this week from that winter weather, but that will not be the case for this weekend. So on Friday here, we have mostly sunny with this high pressure system in the north, the Great Lakes region, which will be pushing in that cold air in, and we do have some snow over here in the west. Going into Saturday, the high pressure system has moved up into the New England area, which is bringing that cold air in once again. We have this low pressure system over here in the west that is bringing in that moisture. So this results in a wintry mix up here in the State College area, up in the New England area. We have that snow. Again, over in the Great Lakes region, we have that snow, and then everywhere else it's just rainy and a mixture. It's just going to be a mess. So if you're traveling anywhere on Saturday, it is probably not going to be a good day to travel, so I would try to avoid it as much as possible. But as for Sunday, that high pressure system has moved up, and that low pressure system has come over to the east, so that's still bringing in the cold air, and the snow will be up above Pennsylvania into that New England region. But for State College, we are seeing a partly cloudy sky for Sunday. So for Friday, we have a high of 29. It is going to be sunny, but a little bit chillier than what we're used to. Friday night, we have that low of 19 with that chance of snow coming in starting Friday night. And then for Saturday, we have a high of 35. That snow and wintry mix. It's just going to be a mess all day on Saturday. And for Sunday, we have partly cloudy skies, sunny and breezy with a high of 30. Now we have Jordyn back with our feature on how weather affects photography.
If you break down the word photograph, you will find that photo means light and graph means to write. Weather can be used in photography to write a story solely based off the lighting in a photo. Weather is a specific component that affects photography because of the lighting the weather presents when there are different types of weather conditions present. Not only is the beauty of weather being captured in one single photograph, but it also changes the ambiance of the photo depending on different weather situations. Mike Maimone and Simon Wacholtz, both student meteorologists who express a passion for photography, shared their insight on how weather affects the photos they have taken. Both Simon and Mike have learned over the years how weather and photography go hand in hand when trying to tell a story. Different weather conditions tell different types of stories.
So cloudy weather will give your photos kind of a monotone look to them. Everything will have kind of like a gray, grayscale type look, especially if you're taking photos that have a lot of black in them. But if you're taking something with a lot of fair weather, you'll get nice, vibrant photos.
Vibrant photos versus grayscale photos have a different feel to how the photo is going to write its own story. Have you ever heard of the golden hour? Social media has this running popularity of photos specifically taken during the golden hour. Golden hour photos are taken when the sun is setting. The angle of the sun during a sunset exposes the ambiance of the photo in a brighter way, changing the contrast and the tint of the photo, making it have a specifically golden aesthetic.
Typically when you have the sun really low in the sky, it kind of has a really, really nice gold tint to like everything, especially on the ocean when you have the sand, everything just kind of turns like gold. All the houses have like this nice, vibrant tint to them. Even the ocean doesn't look completely blue anymore.
The ambiance changes in photography when thunderstorms are present, which is another way to express a story. Thunderstorms give a different appeal of how the photo will turn out, changing the mood of the photo based off the lighting present during these weather conditions.
Thunderstorms are my favorite types of photos to shoot because when everything gets really dark midday, it gives a lot of different color to a lot of things around. So something that during the day in the sunlight you saw as blue turns into a dark gray.
Knowing the forecast ahead of time can also help when looking to take photos during and after storming conditions are present.
If storms are coming, you can see the progression of the storm. You can see the clouds getting closer and closer, and it's kind of like that sense of urgency, that sense of like imperative, like desire to like do something. Like, oh my gosh, like that wall cloud is coming towards us, or oh, that rain cloud is coming towards us. So I think it tells a story by the progression of weather, and then also just of course like what we have currently.
Stormy conditions are not always ideal for photography because rain can oftentimes cause water damage to the camera. It is important when shooting photos in wet weather conditions to make sure the camera is covered and protected. On the other hand of that, photos being taken after a storm moves through is also appealing in different aspects as well.
After it rains, usually that's also a good time, especially like when there's when it's been drizzling, if there's water droplets on the plants, that's really cool. Or if the sun comes out after it's raining, if there's a rainbow, that's amazing. And then even if there's just rain in the sun, that looks it's a pretty nice combination.
Although many circumstances apply to different photography appeal, a less than ideal time to take photos is in sunny, fair weather when the sun is at its peak height for the day. So not only do weather conditions impact photography, but also the time of day the photo is being taken impacts the outcome of how the photo will appear.
When you have a lot of light, especially on a clear, crisp blue day in the sky, you have so much light focusing down on your objects that everything will become very bright, very overexposed. Sometimes it's not such a good thing because you kind of lack exactly the detail in the photos, but if you take that and let's say move that a couple of hours, so let's say 3 o'clock when the sun's lower in the sky, you end up getting a lot more vibrant photos where the sun being lower will just give you the right amount of light to pick up those nice details and colors.
If it's fair weather and the sun is high in the sky, the camera focuses on the light from the sun being scattered in every direction, making the photo overexposed. Photos are considered to be overexposed when they are too light in appearance and the brightness covers up the detail of the photo.
Depends on what you're looking for, I guess. I mean, usually having nice natural sunlight is a plus, that's good, nice to have. Although sometimes that can create unwanted shadows, or sometimes it creates wanted shadows where it's cool, that effect the shadows give. Sometimes if you're trying to take pictures of people, if they're in the sun, then their eyes might be squinting and it doesn't look nice, or if they're behind the sun, then their face is going to be shadowed out. You won't be able to see it. It'll be more of a silhouette.
People who keep track of the weather or forecast the weather know when the best time to get a photo is based on the weather conditions that are present.
So like usually every day I check the satellite towards the afternoon to see what kind of clouds are above us and what kind of clouds are to the west to see if we're going to have a good sunset, because I've learned to recognize what conditions are favorable for good sunsets. So if there are, say, high clouds or even low clouds and then there's clearing to the west at sunset, that's a red flag for me to say, oh, the sunset's going to be good, I need to get ready, I need to go somewhere to take pictures. Whereas if, let's say, the skies are looking good in the middle of the day like they are right now, we have a nice high clouds, but if there are clouds moving in from the west, then I'll know it's probably going to be cloudy and it's probably going to be a bust.
Weather itself directly impacts the way a picture will turn out. This is why it is important for photographers to know what message they are trying to tell and match it up with the correct weather setting to effectively do so. For Weather World, I'm Jordyn Jenna.
Hi everyone, it's Hannah back here with your extended forecast. So we had a nice pleasant week, but we will see that winter storm coming in on Saturday. So again, for your weekend recap, on Friday, mostly sunny and pleasant, but cold with only a high of 29 and a low of 19. For Saturday, we have that winter storm with a mix of snow and rain with a high of 35 and a low of 25. And for Sunday, we go back to that mostly sunny weather with a high of 30 and a low of 18. Now for your extended forecast for the rest of next week, Monday through Wednesday, those temperatures are below average, but otherwise partly sunny. And for Thursday and Friday, we have those temperatures being above average with some snow/rain on Friday. Jordyn.
So we are seeing a little bit of winter weather for this weekend. So if anyone has any traveling plans, it would not need to be for your Saturday. You might want to travel any other day.
Yes, definitely.
Let's get back to our Weather WHIZ quiz question. So for this week, we asked how many acres of fire have burned in Australia? A, 12 million, B, 15 million, C, 16 million, or D, 17 million. And if you said B, 15 million, then you would have been correct. The Australian fires right now, as I stated earlier in my Nature in the News story, they're actually dealing with over 100 fires, and we have 15 million acres burning for right now.
Yes, it's so sad. So our prayers definitely go out to Australia and the people that live there.
That's all we have time for this week's episode of Whether or Not. I'm your host, Jordyn Jenna.
And I'm your forecaster, Hannah Evans.